Hi everybody, welcome back to Rainton. Just going to give you a brief background as to the farming system we've got here, where we've got it, and how it's all transitioned over the more than 20 years since we started farming organically. Right, when I first started going organic, it was because we were becoming disillusioned with intensive farming systems and the chemicals that we were using and the impact that was having on our land and our animals. So we started to move towards a more sustainable model, and organic was the best one available at that time. And it was a very difficult journey. For the first 10 years, there was several times we stopped and said, we need to get out of this, it's not working for us, there are major problems and we can't handle it. But we kept on, and thankfully we did, because after the first 10 years things got so much better. Our productivity increased, the grasses grew better, the animals did better, everything seemed to just come together, so that we were then clawing our way back to the levels of production that we had when we were putting on 100 tons of fertilizer, 1,000 litres of pesticides. And so without all those chemicals in the system, we were being able to produce the same amount of food, and that is absolutely critical. So that raised a question in our minds as to how far could we take these new rules. The old rule book was out the window. It's a new rule book. The rule book was ecological farming, and ecological farming, it was beyond just the minimum standards of organic. It was about being more compassionate about the way we farmed. So trying to minimize the amount of stuff that we're bringing in and putting onto our land and into our animals, becoming self-reliant on what we can produce naturally from the soils on the farm, and at the same time trying to encourage biodiversity and animal welfare. And the animal welfare side is the latest development. Over the last 3 years, and now into our 4th year, we've been doing the cow-calf suckling, and really that is transformational in terms of our attitude towards our animals and their attitude towards us, allowing them a more natural life, a more happier life, I would say happier. They have responded gradually. That didn't happen overnight. Once they understood what the rules were, the new rules, then they settled down. They're giving us milk, they're sharing the milk with us and their calves, and allowing us to produce food and have a high welfare system at the same time. So the two are not mutually exclusive. So yet again, a red line that was laid down in all my education of agriculture and all when I was a consultant, the information I was giving out was based around, you cannot do these things, environment or food, welfare or food, social standards or food. But no, we can do both, we can do them all. And this is what we're trying to demonstrate here, is that we can have a compassionate food system that looks after the environment, the animals, the people and the land, and give us adequate amounts of affordable food.
And it's good to see now that some of the supermarkets are beginning to insist that none of the calves from conventional dairy would be exported live or be shot at birth, and that's encouraging, and would like to see that more do that. But we've never done it, but now we've got a system where the male calves become very valuable and very good meat, because they're getting so much of their mother's milk, and that's really quite important. And we find that the nearer you are to your customer, and we're selling direct, so to so much of our product, the more you get to understand what today's customer is looking for. And they really are quite concerned about some of the practices in the dairy industry. And we would like to hope that pretty soon that Scotland and the rest of the UK will ban live animal exports, and will follow what actually so many of the customers, both the end customer and supermarkets, are hoping is possible.
I would go further. The whole system, the whole dairy system is the problem. We've got cows that are being bred specifically to produce more milk, and therefore the end of life cows, and often cows don't live very long in these intensive systems, and their bull calves are worthless. And I know the industry is trying to address some of these issues through sexed semen, so they get mostly heifer calves being born. But it is a major issue, and it is only becoming an issue because we are encouraged by government policy to produce more milk for export into a market that is oversupplied, rather than focusing on improving the quality of our home products and supplying our home industries. The other major issue that we have with government policy is the support that is given. There is zero support for any farmers trying to produce beef from the dairy system, and where there is a system of support being made available, if you are a dairy farmer, you are excluded from that, and that is so that it sends out all the wrong messages to the dairy industry, that milk is the only thing you should be producing, and that is so wrong. And it is the fundamental problem with our industry, is we're totally focused on milk into a oversupplied market, and we are ignoring the other byproducts which should be looked upon as being a waste in our system, and it is totally unacceptable.